वर दिया था, इसीलिए भगवान ने अलग सृष्टि किया। ब्रह्मा जी के सृष्टि से परे एक अद्भुत रूप बनाया, और वो भी अधिक मास में, 12 महीने से परे 13वें महीने में। जो अधिक मास होता है ना, पुरुषोत्तम मास, उस महीने भगवान मारे थे। क्योंकि हिरण्यकशिपु ने कहा था कि मैं 12 महीने किसी दिन न मरूं, तो भगवान एक अलग महीने बनाए, अधिक मास, जिसको मलमास भी कहते हैं या पुरुषोत्तम मास कहते हैं। भगवान पुरुषोत्तम है, पुरुषों में उत्तम है, इसलिए इस महीनों को पुरुषोत्तम मास भी कहा जाता है, अधिक मास भी कहा जाता है। इस तरह से अधिक मास में हिरण्यकशिपु का भगवान वध किए, और अपने नख से ही। तवकर कमल बरे नखम अद्भुत श्रृंग, अद्भुत श्रृंग दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तन भृंग, केशव धृत नरहरि रूप जय जगदीश हरे। और इस तरह से भगवान जो है समग्र देवताओं को भय को दूर किए। क्रूर गृह पीड़िता नाम भक्ता नाम भयप्रदम, देवता कार्य सिद्धार्थम सभा अस्तम समुद्भवम श्री नृसिंहम महावीरम। इस तरह से देवताओं को, भक्तों को आनंद देने के लिए उस सभा के स्तंभ को ही चीर करके भगवान प्रकट हो गए। और ब्रह्मा, रुद्र, सारे देवता उस रूप को देखकर भयभीत हो गए। स्वयं लक्ष्मी जी भी डर गईं, कोई पास नहीं आ रहा था। ऐसा रुद्र रूप किसी ने कभी नहीं देखा था। देवता कार्य सिद्धार्थम सभास्तम समुद्भवम। और सभी लोग भयभीत हो गए, यहाँ तक कि लक्ष्मी जी भी भयभीत हो गईं ऐसा भयंकर रूप देख करके। तो कोई पास जा ही नहीं रहा था स्वागत करने के लिए, माल्यार्पण करने के लिए। सब बड़े भयभीत हो गए। तो ब्रह्मा जी भी अंत में प्रहलाद महाराज कहे कि आप ही जा सकते हैं, आपके लिए भगवान ने ऐसा विकराल रौद्र रूप धारण किया है। लक्ष्मी जी तो कहें कि नहीं, मैं पता नहीं कभी क्रोध में, इतने क्रोध में कि कहीं नख लगा देंगे तो मेरा भी हालत खराब हो जाएगा। ब्रह्मा जी भी डर गए। भगवान इतने क्रोध में थे, प्रचंड रूप में थे, और प्रचंड क्रोध वेग में थे, जैसा ब्रह्मांड ग्रस जाएंगे। तो लक्ष्मी जी को भी हिम्मत नहीं हुआ, ब्रह्मा जी को भी हिम्मत नहीं हुआ। तो ब्रह्मा जी कहे कि प्रहलाद, आपके लिए भगवान ने ऐसा उग्र रूप लिया है, आप ही इनको शांत कर सकते हैं। तो प्रहलाद महाराज गए। जैसे शेर जो है अन्य प्राणियों के लिए बहुत भयानक होता है,
You are thinking that if I could get some commodity, I could prepare something and invite Sanatana Goswami. So the things were there. So Rupa Goswami inquired, where do you live? Oh, you are a very nice girl. Where do you live? Oh, I live in this village. You do not know. No, I am going to sing you. All right. Thank you very much. Then she went there and invited Sanatana Goswami and my dear brother, please come and take a prasadam here. I have got some food. All right. So Sanatana Goswami came during prasadam time, and Rupa Goswami has prepared so many nice dishes. They are also expert in cooking. Expert. You know, all devotees, they are expert. That is the qualification. So then Sanatana Goswami is inquiring, what did you get? All these things, so nice things are prepared in this jungle. How did you get? So he narrated the story. Yes, in the morning I thought that if somebody sends me something. So by Krishna's yes, a nice girl, a very beautiful girl. And she brought all these things. Oh, girl, he began to state about the girl's beauty. Then Sanatana Goswami said, oh, I have never seen such beautiful girl. Oh, yes, I have also never seen. Oh, then she must be Radharani. She must be Radharani. You have taken service from Radharani? Oh, you have murdered me. We don't want to take any service from Krishna, and he has taken the opportunity to send us. We want to simply give our service, not any exchange. We have done a great mistake. Radharani has taken this opportunity. So she began to cry. So we have taken service from Krishna. We are giving her trouble. This is pure. We are very sorry that Krishna was troubled to send me on this road. So this is the process. Krishna is also finding always opportunity how to serve my pure devotee. And pure devotee is so clever that he won't accept any service from Krishna. And interesting,
Rama Rama devotees, and then he is trained by such devoted souls. What happens? Even those who have no access to Krishna consciousness also becomes fortunate by very easily getting access to Krishna, because the power of this Adbhuta Krama Parayana devotees. And Prabhupada writes very nicely in the purport, a sinful soul cannot approach the Lord directly, but such a sinful man can very easily approach a pure devotee of the Lord. And if one agrees to put himself under the guidance of such devotee of the Lord, he can also understand the science of God and can also become like the transcendental pure devotee of the Lord, and thus gets his liberation back to Godhead, back home to eternal happiness. And then Prabhupada writes very poetically, very wonderfully, so realization of the science of Godhead and relief from the unnecessary, useless struggle for existence are not at all difficult for the willing candidate. Prabhupada's one word is so chosen, and he says, so realization of the science of Godhead and relief from the unnecessary, useless struggle for existence are not at all difficult for willing candidate, but they are very difficult for person who are not surrendered souls, but only simple, profitless speculators. He says, simple, profitless speculators. For them it is very difficult. But those who take shelter of Krishna through his pure devotees. Because Prabhupada says Krishna is very difficult to understand. So, although we stand in front of Radha Ras Bihari, but how many of us we have the power to have access to Radha Ras Bihari? Radha Ras Bihari is merciful to everybody But then, how much we can access that? So, the mercy is flowing, but how we access? Prabhupada says here that when we access that mercy through pure devotees, it becomes very easy. And as this verse says that anybody who can be fallen as Prabhupada writes here, Huna, the mountaineers, and he writes Shabara as the Siberians, those who have no etiquettes of eating, no etiquettes of behavior, like that. So, even such people become eligible to practice Krishna consciousness and become pure devotees. So, when Prabhupada was here, and we are fortunate that we have just, so close to Prabhupada's appearance. Just 50 years back, Prabhupada was here doing his pastimes. So, we have seen through the Prabhupada's disciples, their glories, that how Prabhupada was so expert to deliver any soul coming to him. And he may come from any background, he may come from any qualification, without qualification. Prabhupada could pick up them and put them on very transcendental platform. And there are so many examples here. Maharaj can tell me, at the end, we'll request Maharaj to speak. But we have seen here devotees coming and instantly becoming devotees. So, one such great example is of our and you can imagine the kind of situation he came from. But when he came here, he was attracted to Prabhupada, inspired by Prabhupada, and he was telling in one of the class that when he had to make the passport, because Prabhupada wanted him to go to Russia and do preaching. Can you imagine the thief going to Russia? So that can happen only by Prabhupada's mercy. That's what Bhagavatam says here. Yat adbhuta krama parayana shila shiksha. That when someone is trained by powerful pure devotee, anybody can do anything practically. So he was telling that when he was making a passport, he had no clue what to write the form and things like that. So very proudly he was telling that now also he has the passport. His name, at the father's name he has put Prabhupada's name. Documented. So it's a legal son. So all these are Prabhupada disciples. They are all sons of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada he said that I had 4 sons, but then now I have 4,000 sons who are more loving and obedient. So Prabhupada said that I have not lost anything by serving Krishna. I gained 1,000 times more. So we see that the power of pure devotee is that he can transform material things into spiritual. That's the meaning of spiritual touch. That it has a power to transform anything which is material into spiritual. So we see Prabhupada came here and he transformed this land of dirt and junk and mosquitoes and rats into such palace of Radha Ras Bihari. So that is his spiritual touch. And not only he just created the nice, good-looking building, but he created such valuable gem-like devotees when he was here. So we also, when we approach the Lord, we approach for this, that we get the association of these great souls, so that we can access the mercy of Radha Ras Bihari. And today also we are celebrating the Shri Lochan Das Thakur's day. So I'll speak for just few minutes about him. So he was born just after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appearance. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and after 34 years of that, Lochan Das Thakur appeared in Kogram in Vardhaman district in Bengal. So this was 1520 AD. And he is famous as a writer of Chaitanya Mangal, which describes very beautifully the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his childhood pastimes, his youthful pastimes, and many pastimes which are not so detailed described by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Because it happened that both of their books were of the same name, Chaitanya Mangal. But then the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kahe Veda Vyas, Chaitanya Lila Ravyasa Vrindavana Das. So he establishes Vrindavan Das Thakur as Vyasadev, who has written Bhagavatam previously, and now he is writing Chaitanya Lila. So that's how the name came, Chaitanya Bhagavat. So this was given by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And then the Lochan Das Thakur's composition became Chaitanya Mangal. So this Chaitanya Mangal has 4 divisions. And then he describes very elaborately the beginning pastimes of the Lord. Very sweet. Because his writings are derived from the 2 specific devotees. Because Murari Gupta was present in Mayapur Navadvip, and he was also part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's previous pastimes. And he has written good notes of his Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And in Sanskrit also he has written many shlokas describing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So at a child, when he was a child, he was very impressed with these shlokas, which talked about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's great mercy. And then he also got to read the notes of Damodar Pandit, who had made notes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime in Nilachal, Jagannath Puri. So combining both, then he created this very wonderful book, Chaitanya Mangal, which now also written in very simple language of Bengali. There are varieties of meters, like in Sanskrit they have chandas, different formations, the poet. So here in Bengali, this was written very nicely by our Lochan Das Thakur. There is a formation called as Panchali. So in that he has written this whole book. So when he was born in that Kogram, which is from Vardhaman, his spiritual master is Narahari Sarkar Thakur. Narahari Sarkar's name we take in where? गौरारती Narahari Adikari Chamara Dulaya. So he was his guru. His father's name was Sri Kamalakar Das and mother was Sri Sadananda. And he was kind of took his education and early childhood was at his maternal grandfather. He was staying there. And he had an early marriage.
Over my body, and out of bad smell he will not come. So he began to smear stool on his body at the time of death. So this is going on. They are making body very stout and strong, that they will survive. Nobody will survive, sir, unless he is Krishna conscious. Thank you. So, at least to have a guarantee that our next life is going to be human life, everyone should take a Krishna conscious. From Monday, profit point of view. There is a story, Savitri Sudama. Savitri Sudama, it is not a story, it is historical fact. That one gentleman, youngest king's son, prince, his name was Sudama. But he was to die at a certain age. And his horoscope said. But one girl, Savitri, she fell in love with that boy. Now she wanted to marry. Her father told her she will die at a certain age. Don't marry. But she was meant to marry. In course of time, the boy died, say after 4 or 5 years. And the girl became widow. So she was so staunch lover that she won't let the dead body go away. And the Jamaraj, who takes away the body or the soul after death, so he came to take the soul away. So this chaste girl could not allow the husband's body to go away. Then Jamaraj told that it is my duty that I should take to give that, then otherwise he will be punished. So she gave, and she was following Jamaraj. The Jamaraj became compassionate. The Jamaraj became compassionate and he benedicted her. My dear girl, you go home. I give you benediction, you will have a son. Don't, I'm crying for your husband. Then she was again to first of all faithful. Faithful. Saddadhana. He must be very much eager to see God, actually. Not that as a proclivity, frivolous thing. Can you show me God? A magic, just like God is a magic. No, he must be very serious. Yes, if there is God, we have seen, we have been informed about God. So, I must see. There is a story in this connection. It's very instructive. Try to hear. One professional reciter was reciting about Bhagavad, and he was describing that Krishna, being very highly decorated with all jewels, he is sent for tending the cows in the forest. So there was a thief in that meeting. So he thought that why not then go to Vrindavan and plunder this boy. He's in the forest with so many valuable jewels. I can go there and catch the child and take all the jewels. That was his intention. So you're serious? I must find out that boy. then in one night I shall become millionaire. So much jewelries. No. So he went there. But his qualification was that I must see Krishna. I must see Krishna. That anxiety, that eagerness made it possible that in Vrindavan he saw Krishna. He saw Krishna the same way as he was. So he began to flatter. He thought that flattering, I shall take all the jewels. So when he proposed his real business, so may I take some of your these ornaments? You are so rich. No. My mother will be angry. I cannot. Krishna is a child. So he became more and more eager for Krishna. And that association he has already become purified. Then at last Krishna said, all right, you can take. And then he became a devotee immediately. Because by Krishna's association, somewhere or other, we should come in contact with Krishna. Somewhere or other. Then we will be purified. Being trained up how to satisfy Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness movement. Don't do anything for your personal sense gratification. Do everything for Krishna's sense gratification. That's why the gopis, they used to go to Krishna. Gopis, they were married because in India 12 years, 13 years girls are married. I've told many incidences. So, from childhood, they are friends, small children. But the girls are married early. So, they go to their husband's place, 13, 14 years. But because they prayed the Kaptayani, when they are not married, they pray to Kaptayani that Krishna is so beautiful, please give me Krishna as my husband. Krishna is all attractive. So Krishna fulfills their desire, and that is Vastrahanam. Of course, these things are not publicly discussed, but still you are little interested in Krishna. So all the gopis, girls, before their marriage, they prayed to Kartayani that give me Krishna as my husband. So Krishna, it was not possible socially. Krishna made such a plan that he accepted every one of them as his wife. And that is Vastrahanan Lila. Vastrahanan Lila,
He was studying at the house of Narahari Sarkar as a student. He was so detached from anything material, and that could be seen very much in his life, that he had no interest in anything material. So he was living there like a brahmachari. He was peacefully going on. But when his wife came to the age where now they both are supposed to stay together, he approached the Narahari Sarkar that, he's married, wife is waiting. So Narahari Sarkar, he called Lochandas Thakur. He said that this is the case, you have to go. He said, I don't want to go. But he said, no, you are responsible. So do this responsibility. So by Guru's order, he came to the place first time he was coming, because he had no idea. So he was going, having his address. So when he went in the town, he wanted to check where is the home of this such and such person. So then he looked here, there, whom to ask. So some ladies were fetching water on the village well. So he approached them. He says that, "Mother, can you please tell me, where is this house?" So that Mataji told that, "Go this way." She guided. And then he went there, and the father-in-law was so happy to see his son-in-law at home, like a festival. They took him inside. And then the whole things were done, and then he was supposed to see the wife. So when they brought the wife, he understood that that is the same lady whom he said, "Mataji, can you please tell where this house is?" So that was the same lady. So when he saw her, he said that, "I cannot stay with this lady." He was asked, "Why?" He said, I called her mother. So how can I stay with my mother?"